Let's get ready to rumble! Castiel's in trouble! Reed steps in and the fight is over! Towels coming from Dominic Kingo. Towels there from Dominic Kingo. Let's go! The fight has been stopped! Left off the region!
Is Raps on TV. I'm Thomas Lyons with Vikash, and today we're down at Moreno's Boxing Gym in Dalston. We are privileged to be joined by WBC Silver Super Lightweight Champion, 15-0 and star protege of Matchroom Boxing, Ohara Davies. How's training going for your fight?
Training's going really good. I've got 4 weeks left until the fight. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm sparring loads of rounds, better sparring partners than I sparred in my last camps. I'm beating my times on the running track. So I'm in the best shape, so I'm ready to fight.
So correct me if I'm wrong, you're fighting Josh Taylor up in Scotland on the 8th of July.
Yes.
So how did the whole sort of build up to the fight sort of prevail?
The build up started online. It was all on social media, over Twitter, and we've been in talks for months now. It's been months now. So after I won my last fight and he won his last fight, I said I want to fight the best. And if they say that he's the man to beat me, he's the best in the country, they say, after Ricky Burns, and I say I'm the second best in the country after Ricky Burns. So I'm like, we're fighting for that number 2 spot.
So Taylor's 9-0,
yeah.
You're 15-0. How do you sort of see Taylor performing on the night?
I think he's a good fighter. Today I watched him for the first time ever. He's a good fighter, but like I always say, I find a way to get the job done. I don't know how I'm going to win. But I always find a way to get the job done, and that's what I'm going to do. I'll find a way to get it done.
So assessing the fight, what sort of strengths and weaknesses do you sort of see from Taylor that you want to look to like exploit and expose him during the fight?
I don't know. I don't really know, to be honest. I haven't really thought of a game plan. I just go in there and I find a way to get the job done. There's literally no game plan. I'm a fighter, and he's a mortal human being just like all of us. So don't think I need to give him that much attention. When I go in there, this is my destiny. So because it's my destiny, I feel like I'll find a way to get the job done.
So you're going up to Scotland, into the Lions Den.
Yeah.
How are you going to sort of experience the new setting, obviously being away from the Matchroom setting, here, the fans, the atmosphere, sort of tell us what you're going to...
In my opinion, a boxing ring's a boxing ring. It don't matter whether it's in here, if it's in Ireland, Scotland, it's in Mars, if it's in Jupiter. A boxing ring is a boxing ring, and whenever I'm in a boxing ring, I feel like I'm at home. So it don't matter where the fight is really, I know how to handle it. And when I'm in a boxing ring, it don't matter where it is, I'm at home.
It's a cyclone promotion show with Barry McGuigan. What's your thoughts on that? Are you comfortable with fighting on the away
I'm comfortable.
show?
As long as there's a boxing ring, I'm comfortable fighting anywhere. The different in atmosphere, the different boxing promotion, it doesn't make a difference. A boxing ring's a boxing ring, and I perform well under the lights.
So give us your thoughts on the conference. Obviously, Eddie wasn't present at the conference. It was Frank Smith, yourself, and Charlie Sims.
Yeah.
How did that sort of arrangement work out?
It worked out good. It worked out good. Charlie Sims and Frank Smith. I think it was their first time sat behind the table at a press conference, but they said the right things. They handled themselves well. But it's not really about Frank Smith or Charlie Sims, it's about me, Ohara Davies, and about Taylor, the guy that I'm up against. So it don't matter who else is on the table. I feel like I said and I've done the right thing, and I won a lot of fans over.
So we know you're incredibly talented and have got bundles of potential. You fought Scarpa for the WB Silver.
Yeah.
Your last fight was with Derry Matthews, so obviously moving up in level, and again moving up in level to fight Taylor.
Yeah.
What sort of experience have you gained from moving up?
I've gained lots of experience. After every fight, I feel myself getting a lot better. I get a new push after each fight. I get fitter every fight. I'm a lot better. So I feel like my experience is going to play a major key in this fight. But he's more experienced than me in the amateurs. He has hundreds of fights in the amateurs. He boxed in the GB squad. He won gold in the Commonwealth, I believe. So his lack of experience in the pros, his amateur experience makes up for it. So at the end of the day, it's a good fight, and we're both fighting for that number 2 spot.
So we just wanted to touch on your personal character. I don't really want to use the word controversial, but within the boxing fraternity, we sort of see a lot of fighters, promoters, sort of perceive you, either you like him, you don't like him. What do you sort of say to that?
Whether they like me or they don't like me, at the end of the day, they're going to watch me on July the 8th. And I'm getting paid a lot of money because of people's opinions. So, you know, if you hate me, carry on hating me. If you like me, carry on liking me, because at the end of the day, that's all contributing to my uprising. So I just can't do anything but thank them both.
And in your last fight with Derry Matthews, obviously you were in his backyard with the Liverpool supporters, rooting for Derry, of course. How has that just been motivation for you to sort of, when you're under the spotlight, don't really worry about the outside, just use it as motivation to do the business?
It's not really motivation. I think that's just more experience. I gained experience from that. You know, from that fight, I know how to handle it because I handled it well. So now coming into this fight, I'm not really thinking about how am I going to handle it. I just think about doing the same thing that I've done before. So I've done it before, and I'll just do the same thing again.
So with this controversy in character, how does it affect your profile?
I don't think it affects my profile in a negative way. I think it affects my profile in a positive way, because as you've seen, it's gotten me big fights. 15-0, and I'm the main event on Channel 5. How many 15-0 guys do you know doing that? Especially people that haven't had any amateur experience. I only had 18 fights as an amateur. I didn't do anything big. So you know, everything that I've done has been, it's all been smart, thought about, calculated. Whether people say good things or bad things about me, they can't deny that it's worked to get me where I am.
So break down the fight. How do you see the fight unfolding?
How do I see the fight unfolding? I believe I win this fight. I don't know how I win this fight, but like I said, when I go in there, I find a way to get the job done. You can put me in there with Godzilla, King Kong. I will find a way to get the job done.
Are you looking to make a statement? Are you sort of going to chase a knockout, or do you think just a win is a win and you're going to...
I want to knock him out. I want to knock him out. Just like, you know, before the press conference, I was like, you know, if the fight goes to points, a win's a win. Now, after how we acted at the conference, I'm like, nah, mate, this fight's not going past round 3. So Channel 5 should save all their money paying all the judges and stuff. Don't get any judges, because the judges aren't going to be needed, because this fight's not going to end in points.
So, Touchwood beating Taylor on the 8th. You're still relatively early in your career. Do you have any ambitions to move on to a British title, obviously with the domestic scene?
Move on to the British title. My WBC silver ranks me above the British champion.
But so, do you want to sort of look at the Lonsdale belt as like a goal?
Because this fight is I'm defending my WBC silver, which is better than the British, and I'm fighting for the Commonwealth, which is again higher ranked than the British. So the British that'd be going down a step. So it's not something that I'd be looking to fight for.
Well, touching on the British and the domestic scene, you've got the likes of Tyrone Nurse, Jack Catterall. There's other fighters that have been calling you out over social media.
Yeah.
You said now that you don't really want to go down, you want to move on, look at bigger and better things. But with the likes of Nurse and Catterall, those sort of fights, do they interest you, or is there any sort of...
They don't really interest me, not really, because they're not spoken about. People don't really talk about them. At the end of the day, boxing's a business. There's no money in those fights. You're talking about Tyrone Nurse, he's got about 800 followers on Instagram, on Twitter. People don't know who they are. Boxing's about networking yourself, making smart moves inside and outside the boxing ring. Yeah, he's a good fighter. I'm not going to fight him just because he's a good fighter. He's got to be bringing something to like the table at least. And the Taylor fight sells. Everyone knows him and everyone knows me. So that's what boxing is. Two good fighters that sell fighting each other. Not one good fighter that sells and another one that doesn't sell. I might as well go in a ring and start shadow boxing and start and sell tickets for people to come and watch me doing that. Because Nurse, people don't really know Nurse. Catterall, he's not really that known either. So I feel like he's got to still work his way up a bit. So you know, if I wasn't to win this fight, then I'd say yeah, the Catterall fight could happen, because I'd be going down a step. But he is a good fighter, but I believe that he's still got a way to go.
So with the platform, obviously, with being with Matchroom, the exposure you're getting from Matchroom, which is Sky Sports, you're fighting on a Cyclone show, it's going to be on terrestrial TV, so obviously a different setup, different network. Yeah. Do you see this as like a benefit for you to expose yourself, build your profile, and sort of use that experience to move on to when you fight for a world title?
Yeah, it is a good opportunity for me to build my profile and stuff, but I'm not really thinking about that. To be honest, that's the last thing on my mind. The only thing in my mind is to win this fight and to go out on a holiday. I'm not thinking about anything after the fight. I'm not thinking about who I'm fighting next, when I'm fighting next, where I'm fighting next. Literally, tunnel vision. Win the fight, go on a holiday, and then everything else will take care of itself from there.
So your stablemate Ricky Burns fought Julius Indongo for the world title the other month. Has sparring Ricky Burns been an invaluable experience for yourself?
It has. Ricky Burns is a 3-time world champion, so sparring with him definitely helps me. And seeing how he trains and everything, it lets me know how hard I've got to work if I want to get to the stage where he's at. It lets me know how I've got to work, how hard I've got to train, how much of my life I've got to dedicate to this. And even apart from all the training stuff, I'll speak to him and I'll learn stuff. So from like him being sued, I'll learn from that smart moves to make, what moves to not make, who to work with, who to not work with. So having someone like Ricky Burns in camp is a blessing. In the least, is a blessing because I get to learn valuable stuff in and outside the ring.
So if we put the British domestic scene to side, so you're looking to move on to the elite level of the sport.
Yeah.
You've got the likes of Terence Crawford, Julius Indongo. I think a unification between them is scheduled next month.
I believe so.
Is that your aspiration to fight the winner?
It's my aspiration to fight the winner. If I win this next fight, nothing's 100%. If I win this next fight, then I will be looking at the next big money fight. The title to me don't mean anything. It's just a big money fight that I want. So if I win this fight, I'm looking at the next big money fight, and that'll be my next goal. I'm not really thinking about names. I just see money.
So going into the Derry Matthews fight, a lot of people said, "Oh, this might be a step too soon for Ohara." The way sort of Eddie Hearn has fast-tracked some fighters, you've seen with Charlie Edwards. After 11 fights, he fought Casemiro for the world title, lost that. Do you sort of see a contrast to that? Sort of you being fast-tracked in the positive way?
Yeah, I think I've been fast-tracked. These camps are not easy, these camps are hard. So I said to Eddie, I don't want to have 30 fights before I start fighting for a Southern Area title. Get me the big money fights as soon as you can. I'm going to work my ass off, I'm going to win these fights, and then I'm going to retire as early as I can. I think being fast-tracked is how I want my career to go, because you never know when a fight is your last fight. You never know when you could get injured, and so just work hard, work your ass off, and do everything as fast as you can. That's just me.
So training with the likes of Conor Benn, Ted Cheeseman, Martin J. Ward, has there been any mutual advice that these guys have shared with you in preparation for the fight with Taylor?
No, not mutual advice really. We just sort of speak about whatever we speak about. I don't really speak about my next fight with them. I speak about it with my coach. Me and my coach sit down and we look at my next opponents, videos and stuff. But speaking to them, I don't really speak to them about my next opponent. He's not that important.
So after the Taylor fight, is there any preferred opponent you want, or do you just leave that to the matchmakers?
Just a big money fight. Just a big money fight.
So I just wanted to get your opinion on this whole Twitter beef, bad-mouthing situation. It's not just in your division or yourself, there's other fighters that have been bad-mouthing to promote fights.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on fighters such as Tyrone McKenna calling you out?
McKenna, I don't blame him. That's what I used to do. I used to go online, call out people that are good, and hopefully they'll fight me. But Tyrone McKenna, he's 13-0, 12-0. Yeah. He hasn't really won anything. He hasn't fought any names. He's just been there calling me out, but he's not a name. Tell him when he wins something or when he's more known, when that fight sells, the fight will happen. At the moment, I haven't seen him fight, but I know that fight doesn't sell. How much am I going to get? £500 to fight him? No, that fight doesn't sell at all. He's probably earning £500 a fight. That's why he's been looking at, to pull me out to boost himself. I don't blame him because I would do the exact same thing. That's why I would do the exact same thing. Because in boxing, it's a hard sport. There's not a lot in the sport. People think that boxers are rich. We're not rich. There's not enough money in the sport. So the best thing to do, what everyone wants to do, is to call out everyone that's on a higher level than them to boost their own profile. So I don't blame Tyrone McKenna.
Do you think you're the biggest draw, in your opinion, in the domestic scene for these fighters calling you out?
I believe so, yeah.
So with world champion ambitions, who would be your dream opponent if you were to say after the Taylor fight, come through that fit and strong?
I don't really have a preferred opponent. I just want big money fights. It's just business, to be honest. There's no one that I personally hate. If I look at you and I see money and the fight sells, then I want you.
Okay. So other big fights coming up. We have Andre Ward, Sergey Kovalev, the rematch next weekend. Break that fight down.
I've never seen an Andre Ward fight or a Kovalev fight, so I can't really comment on that. I don't really watch that weight class, so I don't really know, to be honest.
Okay, so what about Joshua Klitschko too? What's your thoughts on that fight?
That'd be a good fight. You know, Joshua. I think I haven't spoken to Joshua since he fought, but I feel like he feels like he could have made the fight easier, and that knockdown that he took, it was quite bad. And I just believe that he wants to fight him again and beat him more convincingly. That's what I believe, because if I was him, that's what I would want to do. So I feel like Joshua wants to fight him again, beat him more convincingly, and so Klitschko can't ever say, "Oh, I nearly knocked you out." I believe Joshua just wants to avenge that knockdown because it was quite bad.
So with Joshua obviously building his profile, he's they're looking at maybe Nigeria as a potential venue for the fight.
Yeah.
Obviously Joshua might want to build his profile in America. Do you sort of feel the same way? Do you want to like push through that path, building your profile in countries once you step up?
I don't really care where I fight, to be honest. I just want big money fights. I don't care about where I fight, who I fight. All that stuff to me doesn't matter. I'm not care about building up my profile in this place or in that place. Just get me a big money fight. It don't matter where it is. The fight could be right here, and it could have no fans. I don't care. It's just as long as it makes business sense. But obviously other fighters see it differently. They're thinking more long term, and in 5 years I want to be in here and I want to be there. I'm just like, nah, just get me a big money fight now.
So recently we've seen quite a lot of fighters move up and down in weights. We've seen Vasyl Lomachenko, he's moved up and down, captured world titles at different weights. We've seen Frampton move up. What's your sort of thoughts on this? Do you think it's beneficial for these fighters if they're looking at big money fights to move up and down?
Yeah, I guess so. Some people want bigger money fights so they move up in weight. Me, personally, I wouldn't move up in weight if I could still make a certain weight class to get a big money fight. I feel like you can create big money fights within a certain weight class. And I feel like I could be super lightweight throughout my whole boxing career, and there'd be big money fights there. Even if I've got to fight someone 2 to 3 times, there'd be big money fights there.
So you have no problem making the weight?
No problem making the weight. I'm nearly on weight now.
Very good. So obviously we've seen moving up and down the weight can have detrimental effects. We've seen Kell Brook, he fought Gennady Golovkin at middleweight, moved down to welterweight to fight Spence. Do you sort of agree with that sort of detriment to a fighter?
After what I just said, when you're getting offered £3 million, I will move up and weight for £3 million. And I think Kell Brook got paid over £3 million for that weight. I don't care how many burgers I've got to eat. Get me to McDonald's, get me to KFC. For £3 million, there's a lot of stuff I'll do for it.
So touching on differentiation in weights, is there a potential fight with the likes of Gervonta Davis? Obviously he operates at super feather at the moment. Obviously he's going to lightweight, super lightweight for that fight.
Gervonta Davis, if he came up in weight class, I'll give him the spanking of his lifetime. So he better be smart and stay where he is.
So you know that altercation with the likes, with yourself and not an altercation, but when you met Gervonta and Mayweather at the talk, what experience and what advice did Mayweather give you? Any advice on the way your career's progressed?
The only advice he gave me is if you want to stay undefeated, keep away from my fighter. I'm like, mate, if you want your fighter to stay undefeated, keep him away from me. And that was it, to be honest.
So with the July the 8th fight between yourself and Josh Taylor, have you heard anything about potential undercards? Has any fights been made yet?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know anything about this show, and I don't really care, to be honest. It's a Channel 5 show. It's not a Matchroom show. It's a Cyclone show. So I don't really know what they're doing. I don't speak to them on the phone. I'm just here to do a job on your fighter and go and get paid and go home.
So that's everything to conclude. Ohara, do you want to say something, final words to the camera? Give out
shout out to Raps on TV, my first ever interview with Raps on TV, and shout out. I'm out.